Shabbat like this, so many things to be concerned about and so many things to be grateful for. And among them, our ability to share our Shabbat Ruach with people who are joining us virtually, knowing that first they are taking their health and their lives as primary, and everything else will fall into line. So we're grateful to be with you. I'm Rabbi Jonathan Birkin, Avatar Turnberry Jewish Center.
Rabbi Gila Cohen, I want to remind you that we have on our website, if you check on the Facebook feed, we have our pamphlet for Shabbat prayers online on PDF, and we also have a prayer book for tomorrow morning. So it's important that you not only watch, but also you engage in prayer, you connect with us, you are elevated in prayer together with us. One of the blessings of living in the 21st century is that we can pray together as a minyan, as a congregation, even if each of us is in a different physical place. We're always in a different spiritual place. So I invite you to download the Friday Night Live pamphlet. I think it's atgc.org/Shabbat/resources. but it's there on Facebook, so you can click on the link in our website and download. If anyone has it, you can copy and paste in comments next to the video, and the rest of the people who are watching will be able to click.
So we're going to pray together the traditional Mincha service, the traditional afternoon service that is the last service of the day, the last service of the week. So if you have any traditional Siddur, it begins with Ashrei. Ashrei shebetecha, ojalu chasela, Ashrei am shekacha lo, Ashrei am shalmayel, Tila levirecha, פותח את ידיך ומסביר לחוכי רצון. תפילת אדוני דבר פי וברך כל בשר שפלות של עולם ועד, ואנחנו נברך יה ואתה בעולם הללויה, יקרא וקדש מרבה, יאמר יברח ירדי ונחמחותי, וחייך ומחון וחייך בית ישראל, בגלל בזמן קריב ורמה, יהי שמירה ומבורך לעולם עמר, יתברך וישתבח, ויתברך ודמה ויתנשא, ויתהדר בלב גלל שמי קדושה בריחו, לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תשלחתה ונחמתה, לאמירן בימה ויתברו, אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהינו, אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק אלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל יום גומל חסדים טובים, וקונע הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות, ומביא גואל לפני בניהם, למען שמו ויעלה, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח מוריד הגשם, מחלקי החיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ברופא חולים ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, ויחמוך בגבורות, ומדום מלך, מלך נימית, ומחיי מצביח ישועה, ונאמנתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. וקדש שמך בעולם, כשם שמע קדושים עולו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ביד בידך וקרא זה אל זה לימה.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך הארץ כבודו.
הארץ כבודו, לעומתם ברוך ימינו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני
ממקומו, בדברי קדשך כתוב לאמור.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, מלך ציון לדור ודור.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, מלך ציון לדור ודור, הללויה, לדור ודור נגיד עודך. ולנצח נצחים שכאן נקדיש, ושפלך אלוהים מבינו ולמוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך הגדול הקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. יגרע ויגרש מרבה, ולמד יברכי ומחמחותי וחייך מלבכות וחייך בית ישראל, לגלה בזמן קריב ימרו אמן.
אמן.
יש מרבה ומברך לעולם מהמעיין, ברך, יפי וישתבח ויתברך דמה וינשא ויתהדר בלב ולעל שמי קודשה ברך ולעילה מכל ברכתה ושורתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דברה בימה ואמרו אמן תקבל צלטון ובטון לכל ישראל קדם אהוני נשמעיה ואמרו אמן יש לנו רב ונשמעיה וחיים עלינו בכל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במעב הוא יעשה שלום עלינו בכל ישראל ואמרו אמן עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל אתם גדולה יוצא בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, וילמד יברח מותי וימליך מלכותי, וחיי חון וימי חון וחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ומיומיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קדושה ברך הוא. ואלה במקום ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בימה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה בן שמעיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום יומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to all of you who have joined us online in this remarkable, unique, unprecedented Shabbat, in which our hearts break and cry out and call out and yearn for so much certainty, so many answers, so much connection. And all of this technology that we have been talking about for years, maybe even a decade or so, about how it connects us, it makes us feel a part of something greater than us. We know deep down that it's limited. We're going to put it to use in a holy way. And not only us, but synagogues all around the world, many of whom have been utilizing this tool to connect people in meaningful ways from great distances, and many congregations like ours for the first time. Shechianu, Kiyamanu, Egianu. We thank you, Lord, for keeping us alive, for sustaining us, for enabling us to share Shabbat in this unique, creative, modern way. At least it is for us. I know for many synagogues it's already passé, they're looking for the next, but here we are. How holy it is for us to be connected, whether it be physically or spiritually or soulfully or communally. Hard for me to imagine a Shabbat where we are so physically isolated and yet we feel so powerfully how not alone we are, how much we share with every other human being on the planet tonight. Join together with us. How good and holy, brothers and sisters, family, community, humanity, dwell together in harmony.
We do every Friday evening, we are going to welcome Shabbat, lighting the candles, spreading our light, sharing our light with the world. We're in this time of the year in which days are longer, we have more light, and we have to share it with those we love. I know this technology thing is a challenge, but I want to invite you, if you're able, if you have candles at home, light the candles with us. We'll give you some time, go get the candles, any candle works. If you can leave your phone on the side, I hope actually that you are not watching from your phone. Maybe you can use your Chromecast, Apple TV, something, and watch from a big screen or a tablet so that you separate from this device that is so much connected to our mundane activities during the week. So take 2 candles, light the candles together with your family, with your children, with your beloved ones, and join Cantor Janine, who is going to bless the Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, b'mitzvotav, metivanu lehadlikneh, metivanu lehadlikneh, metivanu lehadlikneh, shem
Shabbat Shalom. Turn to the person who is sitting next to you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. We're going to join together in a song in the middle of page 2. I hope you have the pamphlets again. On the column of the comments, you can download the PDF. Our next song, Welcoming Shabbat, is called Yedid Nefesh. I want to share with you, Rabbi, that as I went there to share the link for people to be able to download our prayer book, I saw some of the people who were watching. And I saw Esther Perk, who is watching us live. Yedid Nefesh means the friend of our soul, but the word Yedid comes from Yad and Yad, 2 hands. So Esther, Tara, Ethan, we are holding your hands in this moment that you should be sharing Shabbat with us, celebrating your bar and bat mitzvah. We hope we are going to do it with a full house very soon, but virtually we're holding your hands because you are the beloved, the friend of our soul. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
have our pamphlet, page 2, taken from Psalm 95. Come, let's sing together songs to God.
You there, maybe your Sonos speaker or your phone, your voices. I want to hear you sing. Even though this goes only in one way, I believe that if you sing together with us, we are going to be able to feel it in our souls here. One of the beautiful things about this song is that I close my eyes and I feel how people sing with us. So I invite you to join us in song. Middle of page 3, the words of Psalm 98. Zabrud Adonai Bechino.
Zabrud Adonai Bechino. Adonai
Together, the mountain of God, Mu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachvu la'arkot show, bottom of page 3.
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחווינו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחווינו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רבנו.
If you're able, I invite you to rise as we join together on page 4, Mizmor LeDavid.
מזמור לדוד, אמרו לאדוני בבארי, אמרו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, אמרו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בעד הקודש, כל אדוני על הבית, ורק כבוד יראה, אדוני
Chadudi. You can find it on page 5. This is a moment in the Kabbalat Shabbat service where we imagine the spirit of Shabbat entering the physical space in which we find ourselves, using the symbol of a bride, a queen. It's also the time in our service where we welcome those who experience the loss. We extend to them our consolation. We pray that Hamakom, God, the place, will dwell with them and will hold them. And I think of this as a time on every Friday night where we imagine that there are some things that we need to put down so that we have the space, the ability, and the wherewithal to pick other things up. Because we can't carry everything all at once. And while we have been struggling in many different ways this past week to prepare for perhaps the most fundamental unknown our world, our community has ever faced, we recognize on the Shabbat that there are some things that we need to set down. Maybe for some of us it's an irrational fear, it's a kind of anxiety that we don't have enough physical stuff in our homes to sustain us for these days. Maybe it's a fear of other people. Maybe it's a projection of blame onto other parties, other groups. Maybe this is the time, as we prepare for Shabbat, that we allow ourselves to put those things down, so that we have room to pick up and hold other things that perhaps might help us through this period much more meaningfully and much more significantly. And I'm sure that if all of us just look around our homes, look at the people beside you, the lucky few who get to be with you physically on this Shabbat, what do you need to set down so that you can make room for them? And what feelings and what pains and what worries do you need to rest so that you can pick up gratitude and satisfaction and joyfulness and happiness? Let's think in this prayer where we welcome Shabbat into our hearts and we strive to make room for the good that surrounds us every day. Let's bring in Shabbat together with this beautiful poem, this powerful prayer. Chadudi sets the melody of Hallelujah.
Shabbat is here. And as the spirit of Shabbat enters our soul, the neshama is expanded, is doubled. If you take a deep breath, you will be able to feel how the worries and the concern of the week that we leave behind flies away as a new ruach penetrates our souls. The ruach of Shabbat, the feeling of a day in which, more than complaining about the things that we lack, we're grateful for all that we have. We contemplate creation, we contemplate our world, we look at our children, our families, we look at the safety of our homes, at the blessing of having food on the table, and we say how grateful we are. It is good to thank you, O Lord, Tov lehodot Adonai. Mizmor Shir leYom Shabbat on the bottom of page 5, Psalm 92.
Mechatz
This is the time in our service where we say we invite one another to join together as a kehillah. So if you're feeling connected to us, I want you to strive to feel even more connected as we form our virtual quorum, our virtual minyan, not to be confused with the minyan, the two minions that were dancing around like minions last week on Purim. We begin without words, just a melody and nigun, and then the blessings of the Baruch Hu. You can find them in the middle of page 6 of our pamphlets. We shall speak of your commandments and rejoice in your Torah and in your commandments, for they are our life and the length of our days. On them we will meditate from day and night. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves God's people, Israel. Abat Olam, blessing before the Shema, bottom of page 6.
Torah u'mitzvot
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיום הדברים האלה אשר נותנים לצורך היום לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בששך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובגופך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתרתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור לדבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו הציצית הרנה פתית לחלק והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטורו אחרי אלוהיכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם.
Top of page. Turn out on top of page 8, Michael. Ashkenazi prayer, bottom of page 8, such a powerful prayer whenever we are feeling anxious and concerned and scared and frightened and worried, vulnerable. We pray that God protect us and cover us with His sukkah. Those of us who have been in a sukkah, who remember that holiday in the fall, we know that a sukkah doesn't cover us at all. Maybe it's a way of saying that the uncertainty that we are experiencing is really just a manifestation of the fact that none of us ever know what tomorrow will bring. We always are in God's hands. And maybe with every time we wash our hands in whatever ritual we're using, whatever song we're singing to make sure we do it for as long as we need to, we will always remember that in some ways it's not our hands that always matter. Perhaps it's the realization that we are all in God's hands, and that's all we can know. And sometimes that's all we can do until we pray that God will cover us and shelter us and watch out for us, our loved ones, our families, our community, our nation, and all of humanity. May all those who are stricken, who are suffering this night, sense God's protection and shelter and peace. Hashkivenu Baba, page 8.
Eloheinu leshalom, ve'amideinu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'amideinu malkeinu
To the sick and the suffering, send your hope. To the forgotten and the lonely, send your love. To the confused and the distressed, send your light. To the weary and the wrong, send renewed strength. To the pursuers of justice, send wisdom and faith. To the seekers of peace, send unwavering resolve. To Jerusalem and its people, send tranquility and joy. To the world tonight, to the whole world, to those in Italy, in China, here in the US, to the world tonight, send the blessings of healing and peace. Shalom.
Froz aleinu sukat shomecha, Froz aleinu sukat shomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Apoles sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim, amen. Ufroz aleinu sukat shomecha, Ufroz aleinu sukat shomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Apoles sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al Yerushalayim, amen.
grabs this shaker and starts making his music. Everyone in the main sanctuary starts dancing to the rhythm of his musical instrument. Maybe you have something at home. Go to the pantry. Maybe you have dried peas or coffee beans, and you can join us together.
Salt shaker.
Salt shaker, whatever you have.
Salt, a shaker.
Or maybe your children. Maybe your children are there. They have these toy musical instruments. Let's join together. Let's bring some joy into our rooms, into our hearts, with the music of Shabbat. We rise.
We ask you, O God, to open up our lips so that our mouths might declare your praise. So many of us don't know what to feel, let alone what to say. We pray that on this Shabbat we will find the feelings, we will separate out all of the mixture of emotions that we've all been riding these past many days and weeks, and that we find the ability to have clarity. What truly matters in our lives, what it is that we're grateful for, what it is that we yearn for, and what it is that we can celebrate on this holy Shabbat, in which our physical separation is profoundly felt, and yet our deep connection to every other human being on earth is also profoundly experienced. Middle of page 9. Join with us. close your eyes and search for those words in your heart. Connect with our Creator of us all. Connect with all of the souls who are yearning tonight in private meditation. Hold all those tonight who are suffering, who are sick, physically, but also mentally, emotionally. We hold them in our prayers and our thoughts, and we commit ourselves, those who are well, able-bodied, healthy, and with means to do whatever we can to reach out to those in the ways that we are able, to comfort them, to assist them, to be there for them, to call them, to talk to them, to help them walk a path towards healing and strength. We should bear up for sick, on behalf of all those who are suffering,
Shabbat Shalom. Hopefully you are saying Shabbat Shalom. So I was thinking on sharing something with you last night because I was not sure if I was going to have the opportunity to share words of Torah, and I posted something on Facebook very late in the evening yesterday. So you can just read my thoughts there. You can click on my profile and see what I wanted to share with you today. But just to bring some words of Torah to your homes. You know, there's an interesting question in this week's Parsha when God is punishing the children of Israel because of the sin of the golden calf, and He wants to exterminate everyone. God says, I'm going to wipe them out from the face of the earth. And Moses engages in a negotiation with God, trying to somehow convince God that He has to spare the She'erit. He has to spare part of the children of Israel, and He has to let them live to fulfill the promise that He has made to Abraham. And the rabbis in the Talmud ask themselves, wait a second, God has made up her mind and is going to exterminate the children of Israel. And human being, a man of flesh and blood, Moses is going to change God's decision? So the rabbis in the Talmud ask, can actually a person, can a human being somehow alter or modify God's decree? Isn't God the one who decides everything? Isn't everything in God's hands? And the answer that the rabbis in the Talmud that they gave is that, well, although everything is in God's hands, the act of the righteous can make a difference. We've been talking a lot about hands this week. We are refraining from shaking hands with other people. When someone passes something to us with their hands, we try to avoid it. If someone touched our phone, we run and wipe it with Clorox. We've been thinking a lot on how to avoid the hand of others. I want to invite you today in this sacred moment to look at your hands, to touch your own hands. There's nothing that you will spread if you touch your right hand with your left hand and vice versa. Because as we learn in the Talmud related to this week's Parsha, your hands can make a difference. Not a difference by virtue of spreading a virus, but a difference by virtue of the fact that you're opening your hands to those who are vulnerable can make a real difference. Whatever you do with your hands during these difficult days and weeks is going to have an impact in the world. And even though we cannot alter or modify some things that come from heaven, how do we react to those things is perhaps the key to redemption. So I want you to look at your hands, because there are many things that are not in your hands. I'm thinking on people who are canceling weddings and mitzvah trips, people who are here and want to be with their children somewhere else, people who are somewhere else and want to come back to the country. There are many things that are not in your hands. But there are many others that are only in your hands. The life of many are in your hands. I want you to use your hands this week, not to touch the hands of others, but to touch the heart and the soul and the lives of others. Reach out to your neighbors. See if that elderly woman who is 80-something years old has toilet paper. And if she has not, then share yours with her. See if someone needs to go to the pharmacy and pick up a prescription, and you can do the favor and do it for them, because if they are exposed, it could be very dangerous. If you know someone who has canceled the simcha, call them and tell them that tonight you are dancing with them. Make a useful use of this time that you are going to stay at home. Talk to your children. These are the times in which strong families are put to test. If you cannot stand being in quarantine with your wife and your children, then you are in trouble. Reach out to the people who work for you. Tell them that if they need to stay home, they can stay home. Thank all those who are public servants. Thank the doctors, the nurses, the policemen, the firefighters, because they are out there exposing their lives to to save yours. We cannot change what happens in the world regarding to this terrible sickness, but we can make a difference, changing the way we react. We can remember this time as the time in which we stayed home and watched Netflix for 2 weeks non-stop, or we can remember this time as the time in which we taught our children that we can make a difference. In this week Parsha, we learned that after a plague, they had to make a census to count how many were left. And the way to count is not by counting people, but by counting contributions. Whoever contributed half a shekel is counted. Whoever was indifferent does not count. Make sure that after the end of this nightmare, you are counted. You are going to be counted only if others can count on you. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom Mevorach. I invite you to rise as we begin the concluding section of our service, page 118, Aleinu Leshabeach La'adon HaKol, page 12 in the conference.
Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וקרוב עלינו ככל המונם, אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר לארץ, ומשה יקרוב עד שמיים ממעל, ושכינת זו וקבל מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ולמלכנו ארץ זולתו, נגענו בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשמות, ולבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת בינו כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני לדרך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
If you are observing Yartzeit, if you're saying Kaddish, join together with us. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. V'yalmad yivrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayichon v'yameichon v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agala v'zman kariv yimru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'me'amaya. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלל שמי לקדושה בריחו לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בימה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. ועושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Shabbat Shalom. Usually at this point of the service, we announce the upcoming events. All of them are cancelled. But
Physically canceled.
yes, we are going to have lots of things going on in the cloud, in the virtual world. So the only announcement is basically stay tuned. Make sure that you get our emails, that they don't go to the spam folder. Make sure that you check periodically our Facebook. That's going to be our main way of communicating things. And we may feel, Rabbi Berkman may feel like doing Havdalah on Monday morning live on Facebook. I may feel like teaching Talmud on Tuesday, maybe in Spanish, maybe in English. we may find something interesting that is worth sharing. So we will be popping up in your Facebook feed constantly during these difficult weeks. You are not alone. We are not alone. We have you, you have us. So stay tuned and let's keep building community together even through the internet.
And also don't hesitate to reach out to us. Don't think that a concern that you may have is too small, not worth a phone call or an email. Our phones will be working all during the week. Our emails will be working during the week. If you need anything, you want to talk, if it's a specific concern or you're just feeling overwhelmed, reach out to us, give us a call. We would love to connect with you, whether it be by phone, by FaceTime, and if we're able to meet in person somewhere outdoors, we will do so as well. So make sure you reach out to us. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for joining us for this inaugural Shabbat, virtual Shabbat experience. We're going to say some blessings. We hope that you'll join us in doing so at home as well. So if you have something that you can make Kiddush over, now would be a great time to make sure you pour it, have it in front of you. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu mitzvotav v'ratza banu, v'shabbat kodsho v'yava u'ratzon ichilanu, zikaron lema'aseh b'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh. זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי באנו בחרת, ויצאנו קידשת, מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, התחתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני,
So one of the most important blessings of the Shabbat table this week is Netilat Yadayim, hand washing, actually a mitzvah that appears in this week's parsha.
Yes.
It says, "V'rachatzu raglayim b'yadayim v'lo yamutu." They shall wash their hands and their feet, and they will not perish. So a very important mitzvah to fulfill. We can do it with Purell, or we have actual water. I hope that you're doing the same at home, that you are sharing the blessings of your Shabbat table. So we wash our hands as we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Amen. Can't do Shelley, will you lead us in Hamotzi from there? Or from up here? Come on up. Forgot you have a wireless mic.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. B'te'avon. I'm not sure the best way to eat this challah. There you go. All right, I'll hold it later. Join together with us as we like to conclude our service as we begin it. If you want to put your arm around the person in your household as we conclude, Hinei ma tov u'ma-na'im, shevet achim lam yachad, how good and holy and pleasant it is to be together in any way, shape, or form on this Shabbat and every day. May we all find strength, healing, wholeness, well-being, safety, and security. God bless you all. Shabbat Shalom.
Hinei ma tov u'ma-na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma-na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma-na'im, shevet
Shabbat Shalom. I'm not letting good challah go to waste. Service is tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. We envision, we endeavor, we plan, Mirz Hashem, that we also streaming. So please be with us tomorrow morning, 9:15. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.